Coming up, an interview with a legendary 5-octave range singer, no kidding, 5 octaves, who blew up radio in the 80s with his band with songs that had become rock staples, including today's dark and haunting classic. I have to admit, gave me nightmares as a kid. The singer says it's given many people nightmares. You'll see what he says next. We get the story of how he made the song a classic and how he was discovered by a famous rock legend's parents who were attending a wedding where he was the wedding singer, his band was playing. They talked to him and recommended him for a band that was actively looking for a new singer, and he fit the bill perfectly. Coming up next, truly an entertaining and funny interview with a guy who wanted to be a cross between David Lee Roth and Rob Halford of Judas Priest. I think he more than got there. Coming up on Professor of Rock.
Professor of Rock, soon you know that's how you came to be. Professor of Rock.
Hey, music junkies, Professor of Rock, always here to celebrate the greatest artists and the greatest songs of all time. You know, if you had a crush on the Doublemint Twins, you're going to dig this channel of deep musical nostalgia. Make sure to subscribe right now. Click on the link below. Also, check out our podcasts on Spotify and Apple and wherever you get your podcasts. All right, it's time for another edition of our show, Revelations, where featured artists take us for a deep dive behind their greatest songs and albums. Today, we have hard rock icon Sebastian Bach, who lit up radio with a 5-octave range for Skid Row on hits like Youth Gone Wild, I Remember You, and today's focus song, 18 in Life. He's a really awesome guy. We had a great time. Interview was a blast. Let's get into it. When you started joining rock bands, Kid Wicked, right?
Yeah.
You joined when you were 14.
Right. That's true.
They wanted you. The guitarist heard you sing, and as I understand it, was blown away. That would not be the first time. What was the moment that kicked open the door to your mind and made you want to pursue music where you knew there was no plan B? You had to do this. There's nothing else.
So the moment I fell in love with singing was on this Christmas recital in my church choir when my family was there and the whole town, it seemed like, was there. And it was snowing outside like a lot, like it was like a big snowstorm. So it was total Christmas. And we were on, our recital started at like 11:30 p.m. because they wanted to have it on midnight when it was actually Christmas. And I never got to stay up till midnight. And so I was like, this is incredible. And we did that song. But the sopranos, we had this high harmony that was like Judas Priest. It was such high, crazy singing in that part. It's the high soprano. And I looked out at the crowd and they're like, oh my God. And I saw the snow falling. That's the moment that I said, I'm going to sing. Like, I'm not going to stop singing. I fell in love with singing at that verse. When everybody was getting bands together in my early teens, nobody had a singer, and everybody that I knew wanted me to sing in their band. So I had no problem getting in a band because I came from the choir. That's the reason.
Gosh, a soprano. That's amazing.
I'm still singing soprano notes. You can listen to my new record.
But your dad is a famous painter. He did some of your album covers and things. He did the cover for Subhuman. He's done so much. And
Slave to the Grind, too.
Yeah, very talented, man.
He did this background, which is my new album cover. This was a painting from 1975 that I discovered. And that's me as a child. And this is me as somewhat of a man. And here's me as an old man.
I love it.
Well, hey, I'm still rocking.
Skid Row, they have Matt Fallon, but they knew they weren't going to be able to do it with the singer that they had. This is such an incredible story.
I was in a band called Madam X from Detroit.
We're there for the show, more fun we have off stage, more fun we have on stage. It's great, because it's what it's all about,
And Mark Weiss, the international famous photographer, had a wedding. And there was a guy at the wedding. His name was Jeff Weiland. who later renamed himself Zach Wild, or Ozzy and Sharon named him, I think, technically. But he was there. We took over the wedding band. And Kevin Dubrow of Quiet Riot was there. And he said to me before we went up there, he goes, whatever you do, don't ask me to just come up and jam. I don't feel like jamming today. So the very first thing I did was like, ladies and gentlemen, we got Kevin Dubrow in the house. And he comes up and he goes, you motherfucker. And then he grabs the mic and he starts singing. That's true. So anyways, after we jammed, a guy named Dave Feld, Mark Weiss's friend, came over to me and he said, hey, John Bon Jovi's parents want you to join them at their table. And I was so freaked out. I was like, wow, oh, that's crazy. You couldn't be bigger than Bon Jovi in the late 80s.
No.
And I wanted a piece of that. I felt it in the air in New Jersey. I felt like that whole Jersey vibe. And I thought it was badass and cool. Mr. and Mrs. Bon Jovi told me all about Snake. That was John's best buddy growing up in Sayreville.
So here we are sitting backstage with my good friend I've known for about 110 years, it seems these days. This is Dave Sabo.
Don't be such a wanker, man. It's not Sabo. It's not Sabo. It's Sabo.
That's right. So he came up to me one day. He says, John, listen, I've got a great nickname. It's going to be a hook. It'll work for me. He says, I want to call myself Worm. I says, no, it's not Worm. Snake.
And they made a pact in school and said, hey, if you make it first, I will help you, and vice versa. So John was helping Snake out, get a band going.
Name of the band. Remember when you came up to me with the name of the band? Remember that?
Yes.
Remember that?
Yep.
Skip Rope. Skip Rope. Remember?
He said, listen, boy, you want to make it in this business, Skid Row.
So we had a nice time, and I went back to Canada because I was actually fired from Madam X at that point, which maybe people don't know. So I went back to Canada, and then I got a fax, and they sent me a tape, a cassette, and it had demos of Youth Gone Wild. "18 Life." "Rattlesnake Shake." And I knew the song Youth Gone Wild was good. That song wouldn't leave my head. We are the youth gone wild. And I was like 19 years old, so I felt like I was the youth gone wild.
Yeah, right.
Like we all did. We all felt like that.
Sure.
And I even got this tattoo before we had a record deal. I didn't get this after we sold records. When I got this, I had just joined the band, and I got it because I loved the song, and I didn't care if anybody else did. I really loved it.
You were hesitant at first to join Skid Row only because as American band and some of your experiences with like Madam X, but then you heard the demo tape and you're like, okay.
Every band I had been in before Skid Row, Kid Wicked, Madam X, we were all more concerned about image, really, than songs. Well, Kid Wicked, we wrote a lot of songs, and we really did try to write songs, but Skid Row, that was all we cared about, was making great songs. We practiced in Rachel's parents' garage, and I lived at his house every day. We didn't say, hey, we're going to rehearse today. We just went there, and that's what we did every day, all day. And that's how we came up with that album.
5 times platinum, one of the greatest albums of the late 80s. But 18 in Life is such a powerful song. That was the big hit that put you guys across after earning people's respect. That hit number 4 on the pop charts, which is huge for a metal band, and number 11 on the rock charts, number 12 in the UK, which is a great chart position for a rock band from America. It went gold, sold over 500,000 copies.
Well, I've always loved ballads. I'm not one of these rockers who says, our next record is going to have no ballads. Like, to me, that's boring. Like, I want to hear different kind of songs. I don't want to just hear one kind of song, the whole album. And I also know for a fact that my voice really sounds the most special and unique when I'm singing clean and clear. Like, I can hear it. Everybody likes that when I sing like that. Like, when I sing rough and dirty, like Monkey Business, people like that too. But a lot of people can scream. Very few people can sing. There's a difference between screaming and singing, and 18 in Life has both, actually. The verses are singing, but there's quite a few high metal screams in the song.
Like when you go in and you start out with a verse, you know, you hear the guitar, you come in, you're talking about Ricky. You know, it's a deeper song and it's menacing. Then you take it to that next level and it is freaking amazing. I remember the first time I heard that song, I was like, holy hell, what just happened?
Credit where credit's due. Right before I sang that song, right before, I sang in my hotel room the song Beyond the Realms of Death by Judas Priest off Stained Class. And if you listen to Beyond the Realms of Death, the way Halford sang that, that is a really big influence on the way I sang 18 in Life. I wanted to be a cross between Rob Halford and David Lee Roth, because I loved both of those guys. And I go, how cool would it be if there was a dude who could sing like Halford, but he had like the vibe of Dave. And I think I kind of got kind of close to that. But
yeah.
He was a young boy, he had a heart of stone.
Were you putting yourself kind of in the role of Ricky, like when you were recording it?
None of those high scream notes, like when you say you punch it, none of those were in the song. Like when it goes, live 9 to 5 and he worked his fingers to the bone. Or the whole ending of the song. None of that was in the song. I said, can I add all this stuff? Like it's literally another range of notes that I put in there that made it, to me, more interesting. That's what makes you want to crank it.
Oh,
in your car. Like, listen to this part.
Now, when you guys record it, when you're finished with it, was there kind of a look of, okay, we've got something? Like, I'm always curious, did you know?
We did not know it would be that big because there were so many bands. Like, there was Damals, there was Faster Pussycat, there was countless bands. So we did not know that we were different than the other bands. We didn't know that. We didn't know that. But we had John Bon Jovi bringing us on tour, and none of those bands had that either. Well, Cinderella did.
You started to know when you started performing 18 in Life live, though, right?
Well, there was one specific show in Chicago where I came on stage. It was about 2 weeks into the Bon Jovi tour. And I came on the stage. I go, all right, Chicago, I want you all to stand the f*** up right now. And I would say that at the other shows, but not everybody stood up. But at this Chicago show, when I did that, I went, the whole arena just looked at each other and everybody stood up for Skid Row. And I remember I turned around to the band. I go, oh my God, look at this. Like I couldn't, we couldn't believe it. And when that show was done, Doc McGee ran up to us and go, you guys did it, man. You did it. Like that was the first show where we felt like we could be a big, big band. It was Chicago, Rosemont Horizon, opening for Bon Jovi. And 18 in Life, I think, was coming out then. And you gotta talk about MTV. That's who made that big, you know.
Great video. That music video was so memorable. It was one of those songs that was haunting. I'll admit, man, it kind of scared the hell out of me.
Who else told me that? Fred Durst and his buddies. When I was doing a corporate show with them, whoever his friends were, they sat me down. They go, man, that video when we were kids, it was like disturbing. That dude with the chain in his nose. We're like, what is going on? Like.
I have to admit, there are a few nights where I had some nightmares. That one.
Wow. Me too, but for different reasons.
It's a murder ballad, man. It was.
That's great. I never heard that term before, but I suppose it is.
Yeah. There were those that played those back in like the 1920s and 30s that were famous. Yeah, the old folk stuff where they would write those types of songs.
Dark night, there was someone killed.
I don't think you were even aware that you brought that into really the hard rock, glam metal genre. Well, 18 in Life, how has it evolved throughout the years as you've played it? Because now that we're coming up on
36 years. Well, I do it in the same key as the record. I don't change the keys. I don't lower the guitar strings. It's exactly the same. And we got no tapes. We got no click track. We just go up there and do it. Luckily, I can still do it. Knock on wood.
Yeah. It's a high.
But I think if I would have been losing my voice, I would have a long time ago, because I'm 57. So I mean, I know how to do it now.
This album cover behind you.
Yeah.
I love how, because it's kind of a lost art too. Yeah, look at that thing. But I love, because that's another lost art, is the album, the thematic, the way the songs come together. And I feel like this new record is like that. It's in that vein. It's very thematic. And I love the album cover. It ties it all together. Tell me about the theme and your overall process of that.
Well, it's another cliche. Rock and roll keeps you young. But I think, I know that there's some truth to that. I don't know what it is physiologically. I don't know what it is, but listening to this music makes me feel like a child within a man. That's what it makes me. And it's a line from this first song on the record called Everybody Bleeds. The child within the man. That's what it's about. It's about the feeling that rock and roll gives you. That's all about youth for me. That's what it makes me feel like. I'm just getting started.
Everybody bleeds. Everybody burns.
Such a stellar album, and I love that how each song goes into the other, and the bookends, Everybody Bleeds to Live Again.
And I had some great songwriters help me out, like Miles Kennedy co-wrote What Do I Got to Lose and To Live Again. What Do I Got to Lose, the week it came out, was the #1 most added song on FM radio in America. Got to lose, what have I got to say? Which I didn't even know was still possible for a guy like me. So that was very inspiring, that I can still get on the radio. I really didn't know that I could. So thank you, Miles Kennedy, I gotta say.
And Everybody Bleeds is a perfect song for the album to open on.
We did a lyric video for Everybody Bleeds, which has actual footage of my house underwater in a hurricane. That's not stock footage. That's my house.
Sebastian's New Jersey home was destroyed.
It's a great album that progresses so well with all these songs.
The video for To Live Again, to me, when I watch it, it reminds me of like an episode of Mary Tyler Moore, for like a 70s sitcom. Like we're playing with the dog and then we're in the record store, which I love.
Yeah.
And it's a heavy song, but the video has humor to it, which I think is a good trick that the director, Jim Laveau and Tony Aguilera, they reinvent my image every video they do. They're incredible. And I'm getting the itch to go make some more new music. So that might happen sooner rather than later.
Make sure to get Sebastian's new album, Child Within the Man. You can get that at Amazon, or click right here or click below. Also, make sure to leave us a comment about Sebastian Bach, about Skid Row, about his career. What are your memories of these songs? Let's have a great discussion below. If you like our content, we invite you to subscribe. Till next time, 3 chords and the truth, my friends.